Hi guys, I hope you are ready for 2020 because I am. And here are some few things that I think each of us should give up in 2020 in terms of mindset. Here we go. A need for approval. We are social creatures, so we all want to be accepted by the community or the friends in which we are growing as people. And it's natural, especially seeking approval from people that we love and our family and so on. But in the end, sometimes this need for approval pushes us into doing things we shouldn't be doing, or we spend too much time on being concerned on how we look like, or like in being too perfect for certain expectations of certain people. And in the end, you have to set your own standards of what you want from yourself and only seek approval of yourself, and not really care what other people think of you. Because if you let go of this in 2020, if you really say, you know what, I really will focus on being the best of myself, but not because of what people are expecting from you, it's gonna free your mind and your space in your mind so much, and you will be able to focus on things that are really important and not on what people think. Second thing is letting go of being a perfectionist. Well, that one is, I think, for a lot of us, and definitely for me, one of my goals for 2020 is to start recording 2 to 3 videos a week instead of 1 a week. And the way I realized that the only way I can do this next to a full-time job is when I stop being such a perfectionist and maybe try to spend less time on editing. And in order to spend less time on editing, I need to make videos that are maybe less perfect than they used to be. I'm not saying my videos were perfect, but I'm not saying my videos were perfect, but at least I was really striving to make them perfect and spending a lot of time on editing. And now I'm just like, you know what, the most important thing is the content, so let's see how that works for me in 2020. But actually we waste a lot of time trying to be a perfectionist. And sometimes a friend taught me this, that sometimes you just need to create a kind of a minimum valuable product and see if this is enough, and then see how people react to that, and then try to make it perfect if it's really, really working. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. And in general, trying to be perfect sometimes takes a lot of energy and work, and sometimes it's better to just launch your website instead of waiting for 3 months until it's absolutely perfect. Launch your website and correct things as you go, and actually start making sales or whatever you're doing with your website. Then not launch it for 3 months and be offline and not visible to people. You see where I'm going with this. Tip number 3, we have to stop avoiding discomfortable situations. This is really hard because we are creatures of comfort. We don't like to get out of the comfort zone. This is why people actually fail at creating new habits with their New Year resolution, because we are used to something that is comfortable to us. And even, it's funny because this is how our psyche works, how our monkey mind works. Actually, we'd rather stay in a comfort zone which we are familiar with, which is maybe not such a good circumstance. So actually we'd rather stay in a job that we don't like but we're familiar with it, than go out of our comfort zone and try to look for something new and try to risk it and change jobs and see if we like. And when people don't like to do that, and because it's like, my life is not great, but you know what, at least it's familiar. And most humans are really scared of something that is unfamiliar to them, because yeah, because they don't know, it might get worse. So with this mindset, you will never change your life for the better. So I think we should all try to remind ourselves that whenever we feel uncomfortable, it means it's resistance. It means that that's something that our brain doesn't want us doing, and means that we're actually going in the right direction, because if we are resisting it, probably it's going to make our life better. I mean, not always, obviously. There's certain instincts and survival and stuff, but we don't really live in a survival world, so mostly this monkey brain is not helping us, it's just stopping us. So tip number 4 not tip number 4, but the thing that we should give up in 2020, thing number 4 is the victim mentality. What does this mean? Well, I used to be like that as well, and it's really hard to see when you are like this unless someone else is pointing it out to you. Basically, victim mentality is when you think you don't take ownership of your own life and your own life circumstances, and you always find somebody else to blame for your life circumstances. The economy, your boss, your partner, your parents that didn't give you the right education, that you were born in the wrong country, that your hair is of the wrong color, or your skin. Anyway, just finding all kind of reasons not to do things because, well, oh, sorry, that's my washing machine. I'm gonna close the door. I'm leaving to Oslo tomorrow, so I'm kind of trying to do many things at the same time. That's why it's really dark in the room, because it's already it's so late. But I need to record some content for you guys. So yeah, so stop victim mentality, and it's not easy to do that, especially if you don't see it, but you can maybe ask some friends and see if they think that you have a mentality like this. And just whenever you encounter a problem, ask yourself, like, can I do something about it? Is it in my power? And just basically take ownership of everything in your life. Even if the circumstances are external, still say to yourself, like, okay, what can I do about it? And take a proactive approach instead of just complaining about stuff. Thing number 5 that we should give up in 2020 is trying to accommodate everyone else's needs all the time. I mean, basically we have to learn to say no to certain people and certain expectations of us, because I mean, it's a really hard one, especially when it comes to family and really close friends. But I know a few people in my life that sometimes say to me, like, oh, I have this invitation tonight, I really don't feel like going, I really would like to spend time at home and work on my project, but yeah, this person will be really upset if I don't go. And like, okay, so what? Like, you have to prioritize your own needs sometimes, not always. I mean, you don't have to play the selfish game, but sometimes we just try to accommodate everyone else's needs first until we accommodate ours. So saying no to things which don't bring you any value, it can be a really healthy relationship you can build with yourself in 2020. Another thing that we should stop doing in 2020 is spending time surrounded by negative people. And again, that's a really tough one, because sometimes the negativity comes from your own family, from your own friends, and it might be tough. And it doesn't mean that you have to say goodbye to them forever. Sometimes it means maybe just for a time being, or for a certain period of time when you really want to launch this project, and you really don't need other people telling you that it's not going to work, because you have that fear in you yourself, and you have that voice in your head yourself that keeps telling you, like, don't do it, it's gonna suck. So like you definitely don't need people in your life who are questioning whatever you're doing. Like, are you sure you want to do this? I don't know, maybe it's not such a good idea. I've heard that people who do XX always turn XX, you know, all these predictions of what's gonna happen to you if you do that. I mean, it can be harsh sometimes, but you sometimes have to really let go of negative people, or just generally surroundings that don't bring you forward. I mean, for example, if you really like to party a lot, you have a lot of party friends, but then in 2020 you're like, okay, in this year I'm gonna quit drinking or quit partying as much because I really need to focus on X and X, whatever it may be. I mean, you're really gonna have to say goodbye to some of the friends with whom you used to hang out in the party scene, because that's not the right surrounding for you to build the new habit that you want to build. So instead of surrounding yourself with people that bring you down, you should surround yourself with people that can uplift to you or maybe even mentor you. And the last thing we should let go of in 2020, oh my god, this is easier said than done. I honestly don't have the recipe for that. It's letting go of fear. And how many times we set up some goals for 2020 and we don't follow through on them because we are scared that we're not going to succeed. Or there's also fear of success, and I did some research on that, why that is, and apparently it's because we subconsciously think that if we succeed, then our friends will judge us. Or, sorry, that was just this weird sound. Our friends will judge us or look down on us, or not look down on us, but more like they maybe will envy us or maybe start putting us down, or I mean, or if we start making money, then friends that don't have money, or let's say don't have a lot of money, they will start feeling like disconnected with you, and subconsciously sometimes people sabotage themselves even from their own success, because they are scared of losing this close people in their life because of that. And obviously we all have also fears of just taking action and making mistakes, and again that comes from our perfectionism. It's kind of like better not to launch your website and just keep it always in the making, because well, if we launch it, that we're gonna get a lot of criticism and it might not work out, Well, you know what, the best way to deal with fear is to take action on a regular basis, because taking action gives confidence. And you could say, well, it's easy to say take action. If I could take action, I would not. If I would not have fear, of course I would take action. But I mean, start with taking small action. Start with taking action in the places where you feel a bit more comfortable, and then put yourself out of the comfort zone more and more, and do things that you're scared of, because by doing things that you're scared of, you will realize that actually it's not as scary as you thought it would be. And what I sometimes do is that when I'm scared of something or scared of making a decision, I imagine like, okay, what is the worst thing that can happen, like the worst absolute thing? And then, I mean, it's pretty bad, but then I'm like, okay, would I never be able to stand up again and get through this? Of course I will. So if I know that even from the worst scenario I will come alive, then maybe it's time to do this, because I mean, it doesn't mean that the worst scenario will happen. And positive affirmations help a lot, and just general all these good routines that we always talk about help you build right mindset. So let's fight fear in 2020, and I hope you guys all will have a beautiful celebration for the new year, and let's kick ass in 2020 with our new goals and fighting off the bad stuff. Oh yeah, don't forget to like this video, and please subscribe if you haven't already, and see you in the next video.